Good morning. Today I am walking route number 33 and I'm on day 32. One Munros, quite a long cliff walk, so there's a few ups and downs, and it's Seana, Bhraigh. That translates to the old height. It's a long day. Guidebooks suggest 9-10 hours. I've learnt from yesterday, so I brought my mountain bike. So I'm hoping for the first couple of miles, either way, I can get through the forest pretty quickly. Away we go. So that was definitely an advantage. Not as much of an advantage as yesterday, but I've got to the point of the track where there's cairn and I'm going to turn left up that steeper track. Decided to lock my bike up and leave it there. So probably a couple of miles that I've ridden, which means a couple of miles downhill home. So that's 4 miles off the route. Probably saved an hour on the day. This track isn't as well used as the others. You can see there's trees growing over it and bushes, and it's quite steep. So clearly it's not as well used as some of the other Land Rover tracks. And then it's rising at a nice gradient, making height very quickly. Wow, you can see how quickly he made the height. Forest track right down there at the bottom. That's where I dumped my bike, on that little track down there. So extremely not steep, but getting on that way, I'd say. Just at the edge of the forest plantation now, so we're going through the gate. We'll start climbing the moor. Now I do know there's more ascent today than the actual height of the mountain, so I'm expecting quite a few ups and downs en route to this mountain because it's quite a way away. So we've wrapped round the hillside. We're heading up the glen under this corrie an Lochen Scriggit, apparently. And when we get up to the col at the top, we're going to veer left around the back of these crags and head towards the summit, which is hidden at the minute. Fair way to go yet. So I'm heading up to the col and I've picked up a path again. So I must have lost the path down near the locks. But I'm back on track. So they've cairned the footpath because it's become thin, yeah. But there's lots and lots of cairns here keeping you straight, so it's good for bad weather nav. Bad weather, yeah. So I've just bumped it. Well, a chap's just bumped into me. He's done loads of Munros and he's given me loads of advice. Sorry, what? Forgot your name again? Roddy. Roddy. Yeah. So Roddy's been telling me about the Fisherfield round which I've got coming up, which is really interesting. So I'm following the cliff path. Fair bit of climbing still to do. I'll show you where we've come from. We've dropped down off that top into this bottom near the lock on, and then back up here now. So we're now climbing. It's as I say, it's a pathless wilderness over there, so you've got to kind of make your own way across. The clouds coming in on the top, and probably 50 or 60 metres of ascent left to the summit. Hopefully it'll lift, but the summit's been in cloud pretty much all morning, so I'm not sure it'll lift now. So here we are at the top, Seana, Bhraigh. Wow, that was tough, very tough. Fortunately not a lot to see. There's a huge craggy cliff to the south of this, and it's quite imposing. Unfortunately you can't see it. Never mind. Very remote mountain. Heading back now, just dropping down this rocky hillside. There's a couple of paths here. I'm taking the right hand one which skirts around towards the cliff edge again. I'm going to try my best to retrace my steps as best I can, although I did veer off track a couple of times on the way out. Now I've got the benefit of hindsight. Just pointing out, when I came up this morning, I went to the right of that small lochen through that little bit of a boulder field and then cut across to the path, where I should have turned left at this little cairn over them stepping stones and picked the path up there. It'd have been much easier. One to remember. But that was this morning. We're back on track now. Easy now from now on in. Footpath all the way back. So we're not far off the forest now. Follow the forest track right the way back to the car park. You can probably just about make out in the distance near the White House. Long day. Hi, welcome to day 32 of my Munros challenge. Today I walked route number 33, Sunday the 29th of August. The car park was at Innerray Bridge. It's a nice car park, maybe 15 cars. Got to get there early though, quite busy. This mountain I walked today is very, very remote, I have to say. I decided to use a mountain bike after yesterday because I'm going through the same forest. Unfortunately, the path rose very, very steeply towards the second half of the forest, so I didn't get the full benefit I was hoping for, although it's still worth taking. But so I rode into the forest until the path started to ramp up quite a rough track, at which point I parked the bike and continued maybe a mile and a half into the forest. And I say it was very steep into the forest and beyond the forest until you eventually reached a plateau on the moortop. And you're still climbing, but ever so gently for quite some time. And eventually you come to like a shoulder, and it becomes very rocky. And the path gets extremely faint, and it becomes cliffy, and there's boulders, and you need your wits about you to get through that bit. And eventually you'll drop into a col, and you need to be extremely careful because there's cliffs, there's crags, and the path is almost non-existent. So eventually you'll drop into this quite a long way into a col which is boggy, and there's locks there, and then you've got to climb up another hillside which is again boggy, very heathery, hardly a path at all, and it's following the line of the big cliffs. And once you get round there, you drop into another col before the final ascent. The final ascent isn't too bad at all, but the mountain, I have to say, has superb views, absolutely superb views. Unfortunately the cloud came in when I was there, but there's extremely steep cliffs and crags coming off the mountain, which wraps round, and it is actually stunning. I did see it the day before, and I couldn't wait to get up there today. Unfortunately I just didn't get the weather. It's a very long walk, very, very, very long walk, just for the one. It's 18 miles. Now it took me 7.5 hours, but I did have the benefit of the mountain bike for part of that. But there's a massive, just for one, there's 3,900 feet of climbing. So there's a lot of climbing, a lot of ups and downs, and as I said, it's a very remote mountain. Great day though, fabulous day.